Hi, in the previous tutorial we explored statement interface and we looked at different operations that can be done using statement interface. So in this tutorial we will be exploring prepared statement and we will see different operations that can be done using that. Okay, so prepared statement, what is prepared statement? Prepared statement is an interface that just extends statement interface. So whatever methods that are there in statement interface is also available to prepared statement. So in prepared statement we will precompile the query once and you will use the precompiled query and you will invoke it with different parameters. Okay, so to give you an example, say you are performing 1000 insertions, that is you are performing 1000 insertions to a database. If you use normal statement interface, what you will do, you will compile the query 1000 times, right? But in prepared statement, what you will do, you will compile the query once, okay, and you will just pass the different insertion parameters 1000, say 999 times. So it will give you a lot of performance advantage. Okay, so the main advantages of prepared statement are like it will improve the performance. Okay, it's like it supports SQL 99 data types like glob, blob and object. It provides a programmatic approach for setting values. You will understand this and this a lot when we start coding. So when we actually start, you will realize how efficient this is. Okay, so we will be performing all these operations using prepared statement now. We will see how to retrieve records from database now. So I'll just create a new class and name it as prepare test. I'll put that in package com.think bigprg.prepare. Click finish and remove this. Okay, remove this. So we will copy the imports and the constructor part from the code that we wrote earlier. Just trying to save some time. And we don't need statement, we will be using prepared statement, and we will copy the constructor and the reference variable that we created also. Don't need this. Just change the constructor and we don't need statement. PreparedStatement. Okay, so we will establish a connection. We have a code that will close connection, so we'll write a code that will retrieve records using prepared statement. Okay, so I'll say void okay, we will retrieve records that have specific ID. So we will need a ID will act as a identification for the rows that are to be retrieved. Okay, so the second step that we need to do is prepare the statement object, that is prepared statement object. Okay, so PreparedStatement is equal to connection dot prepare statement. I'll say select star from, oh, let's look. Okay, the table that we created earlier was student and it has 3 parameters and it has these many value. Okay, 3 columns, sorry. From student where id is equal to, if you remember in the statement interface we directly used to pass the parameters. Now we are going to say it's like question mark, and we will be, okay, it can throw a skill exception, so surround it and try catch. So after that we need to pass parameter to this, right? So that we will set it later in the code, that is prepared statement dot, if since it's a integer I'll say set int. Okay, and this is the first parameter. You can pass multiple parameters, say comma, and name is equal to question mark. You can do that, but we will just stick to this. Okay, and I'll say 1, the first parameter, and the value should be id that we pass. Okay, and let's say after creating prepared statement we will execute it, right? So result set is equal to prepared statement object dot execute query, since this is a select operation that we are doing. And after doing that, after we did that, we will iterate through the result set and we will just display the values. Okay, we will say CISO result set dot get int, because the first column is int, and result set dot get string 2 plus result set dot get string 3. Okay, and yeah, that's about it. So we have a catch block. So in the finally we will need to close the prepared statement object that we created. Okay, we have done that as well. So this can throw an exception, so you can either surround it with try catch or you can add throws declaration. I'll add a throws declaration. So that's completed. So all I need to do is prepare create instance and invoke the retrieve method that we wrote, pt dot retrieve record. I'll say 2. This can throw exception, so I'll surround that with try catch. So when I do that, it should display the display Peter and Scott record. Yeah, it's displaying both. I'll just add a, yeah, so it's displaying 2 records. So the main advantage of prepared statement is the query will be pre-compiled. So suppose say that you want to execute the same query once and you with different parameter. Suppose say that you want to perform same query once. Suppose say that you want to execute the same query with different parameter. So at that time what you will do, I'll just show it to you. you will set it as this is just for dry run. Say 1. Let's say this has 2. Let's make it not 2. I'll say 10. So your query would have compiled at this stage, right? So using the same compiled query, you are just passing a different parameter to it and executing it. So it will give you a performance hike. So if I execute this, okay, so that's the main advantage of prepared statement. Now we will look how to insert records into database using prepared statement. So to do that, I'll copy the code that we wrote earlier for retrieving records. Paste that. I'll rename database. I'll rename the method as well, and since we have 3 columns, we'll be passing 3 parameters, arguments, and city. Okay, and we will remove this code. Can remove this as well. Okay, and remove this also, and we'll write a new query. Okay, so the first step is to prepare connection object, right? Create a connection object. So in that I'll write a query, insert into student values, and I will not mention the values like what we did in statement. I will just mention question mark, and question mark. Okay, and now I'll say PRSMT dot set the first column as integer, right? So I'll say 1 comma ID. I'll say the second parameter is name, and that's a string. Okay, and the third parameter is city, that's also a string. And after doing this, what I'll do, I'll say we need to execute this, right? Execute update, because we are performing an insertion, deletion, or updation of. When you are performing that, you'll like use execute update method and count the number of rows that will be affected. So count indicates that if count is greater than or equal to 1, that is if it was successful, I'll write CISO inserted record into DB. Print out the record details, that is ID, name, city. Okay, so I'll retrieve some record. I'll retrieve okay, this we can comment it out. I'll say pt dot insert records, say 14, say Sam, say okay. Oh, in the previous have forgotten to close the connection. Don't ever forget to close the connection. It will cause a lot of issues if it's like in a real-time production environment. Okay, so after that I will execute this. After I execute this, I'll get insert into that. This record has been inserted in the database. Let's verify. Yeah, sim has been inserted into database. So we have inserted records also, and as you can see, we have programmatically set the parameters, the values that can be passed. So that is one of the advantage that we were talking about. Okay, we will write a code that will delete record from database. So to do that, I'll copy the code that we wrote earlier for insertion. Just we will rename the method, and we will use the id to no this time we will use city to identify the row that needs to be deleted. Okay, so we'll remove everything. I'll remove the query that we wrote for the insertion. I'll say delete from student where cd is equal to, I'll say question mark, and I'll programmatically set the city PRSMT dot set string. I'll say this is the first argument, and that has to be city. Okay, so we have said that from database. We'll just print out a message, that's it. Okay, so what we'll do, we will delete England. Okay, comment out the code that we wrote for insertion. I'll say pt dot delete, right? Okay, so when we execute this, England will be deleted. Yeah, oh, we did not rename this. Okay, but England was deleted from database. Yeah, England was deleted. We just forgot to put the right word in the CISO, that's it. So we have successfully deleted record from database as well. Okay, we will see how to update records that are there in database. To do that, I'll copy the code that we wrote for deletion. I'll rename the comments. I'll rename the method. We will need two arguments. The one is to identify the row that needs to be updated, and the other one the new value that you will be putting. Okay, so end id. Okay, update. So I'll write that, so I'll comment out this part now. I'll remove this part now. Update student set city is equal to question mark where id is equal to question mark. So we have two arguments now. We need to set those two arguments. The first one is string, so I'll say set string, say first one, and it's a city. We'll be changing the city, okay, based on the ID. Int. The second parameter is int and its ID. And after that we'll just perform execute update. I'll say updated record from I'll print out the city and I'll print out the ID. This is new city and the same ID. Okay, so we'll see. So we'll set Madhu to some other location. Okay, that is 11. Change it to some other city. I'll comment out the deletion code. Say pt dot was that update record, and it was 11, right? And we'll say, so when we execute this, it's the other way around. Yes. Okay, when I execute this, city will be changed from Mangalore to Japan. Okay, execute that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the data in the database has been updated. So we have done update operation as well. Yeah. Okay, we will see how to perform bulk update using batch. I'll be copying the code that we wrote for deletion. I'll rename the method. Okay, this time I won't pass anything. We will define it there. Yeah, this query is sufficient. Okay, so what you will do when you need to, it's like it should I'll remove the city, and let's first look at what are the cities that are there. Say UK. So this is one statement, right? So this statement we will push that and add that into the batch. This will be like one set of statement, and the same thing we will copy to another one, and the location is Japan. Okay, and the next location is Bangalore. Okay, so this query has been added to batch, this query was also added to batch, and this query was also added to batch, and later we will execute a batch update. And we will execute the batch. Okay, execute batch is going to return an array of affected rows, so we'll not print that this time. Just say CISO operation completed. Okay, so when I execute this, UK will be removed, Japan will be removed, and Bangalore will be removed. Okay, I'll call the okay, let's call this operation completed. Okay, UK, Japan, and Bangalore needs to be removed. Okay, they are removed. So this is how we performed a bulk update using batch. So we have successfully completed almost all the operations that can be done using prepared statement. So in the next tutorial we will look at callable statement.